Hey guys, Tori Boggs here. It's day 10 of the Star Jump Challenge. Thank you all so much for being here, for supporting the Starlight Children's Foundation, for registering, for donating, for grabbing those ropes. We're gonna go right into the tutorial today, which is kind of the second half of that 180. Yesterday you went forwards to backwards. Hopefully you got that down. And today we're gonna go from backwards to forwards. So this is what it's gonna look like for today's skill. You're jumping backwards and you're switching directions to now be back to the front. And eventually you'll be able to connect going from forwards to backwards and then back again. And that becomes a mad dog if you kind of stay on this half of the circle. And if you go all the way, make one big circle, now you're getting into the 360. So it really becomes fun with adding on to these direction changes. But today we're gonna start with that backwards jump now. So you've made it here. You've jumped the rope backwards. My arms are already taking the rope up. We're giving the rope momentum in the upward direction. And that's when we're gonna now turn back to the front. And then as you're kind of making this arch with the rope, you have this nice big arc in front of you. You're gonna bring the rope back down with your arms and you're ready to jump it forwards. And that's really the 180 from back to front. So we have that backwards jump, arms come up, over, back down, and you're right into that forward jump, kind of the opposite of what we just did. So the 180 front to back, your arms are coming down, and now for this one, our arms are coming up, over, and back down. So make sure that you practice that, try to get 5 times each side, and also focus on the same footwork that we were doing yesterday. So the same rules apply on this. If we're turning to the right now, my left foot is gonna be in front on that straddle, so I can pivot nice and easy to the front. And then if you're turning from the, let's see, left direction, your right foot is gonna be in front to make that pivot nice, smooth, and easy. Once you get the 180 from back to front, now you wanna connect the two. So you wanna work on that mad dog or that 360. And I would encourage you to do this by starting with 3 jumps in the middle before turning in. So it would look like this. So you have that front to back, 1, 2, 3, back to front, 1, 2, 3, other side, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So once you have those 3 jumps between, you kind of understand what you're doing with your feet, what you're doing with the movement. You want to now cut down the number of jumps that you're taking backwards. Try to then go into 2 jumps, and then eventually the goal is to get 1 jump. So the mad dog with 1 jump would look like this, front to back to front. And then the 360, continuing around, would look like this, front to back to front. And these skills flow really well. You'll start to incorporate this into different routines, different ways of moving with the rope. And once again, I said this yesterday in the tutorial, but make sure that you're keeping the planar motion of the rope. So the rope is always moving either forwards or backwards, this direction, forward or backwards. We don't want to get caught up into 45 degrees or 90 degrees or kind of rotating in different directions on these right now. And that's something to pay attention on, especially when you start to do that backwards jump. You don't want to get caught where your arms are kind of coming at different heights, different speeds. You want to have that nice, smooth, backwards, forwards jump for these. And then one more thing to level up on the skill, similar to what you did yesterday, you can add in those crosses. Same rules apply, right? You can hold the cross and come back. You can switch cross. You can kind of get a little creative on that if you're ready for it. But for now, just try to get 5 of those each direction, get into those mad dogs and 360s. And I can't wait to see you guys for our session tomorrow. Happy jumping.